Listen to me. I'm going to get off the phone right now, and I am going to let you professionals look at the situation and come back to me with a solution. No matter what, no matter what nobody said. Let's just here and there. Y'all are not working together the right way.
In a documentary, there's a couple things I'll share with you guys on what I took away from it. But Rob, maybe share the clip on how he got access to some of the footage of the documentary. Is this the one, Rob?
Yep.
Go for it.
How did you get that footage of Diddy?
I figured most journalists would not disclose their sources.
Does he know y'all have this in the doc?
I would doubt he knows.
So when this airs, that'll be the first time that his legal team, Diddy, that everybody knows that this footage is now seeing the light of day.
Perhaps.
Combs' team firing back in a statement to NBC News, saying the Netflix so-called documentary is a shameful hit piece and that they relied on stolen footage that was never authorized for release. His team sending a cease and desist to Netflix.
50 Cent has just leaked shocking new footage showing Diddy looking scared and shaken inside prison, and it's going absolutely viral online. Earlier, there were reports claiming that Diddy was living comfortably behind bars, drinking wine, and even teaching business lessons to other inmates. But now, it seems that's not the full story. New details suggest there are people who may be targeting him for reasons many didn't expect. Reports are now claiming that Diddy could even be in danger from individuals connected to Tupac.
Because people think that he has something to do with Pac, people think he has something to do with Biggie, and they right here in Brooklyn. You understand? It's right here in Brooklyn, and some of the people are still mad that he made Making of the Band walk to Brooklyn from, to get the cheesecake, and just around the corner from the Cheesecake Factory. So, Junior's. So it might be some dumb shit. So y'all need to get him out of here and ship him to Jersey because somebody gonna kill him over here. Those are good arguments, if you want to call it, but it's bullshit. He gonna get the same treatment no matter how much money he got.
I have my own opinion, but I wouldn't slander their name like they did mine. I wouldn't say things that I knew, you know what I mean? I believe so. I do believe so. I have proof, things that I can say that will back up my claim, but this is not for the world to know about. You know what I mean? It's between me and him, and only he knows. So every time he say it didn't happen, that's the only thing that makes this become an issue to everybody. Because you seen what I said in the Vibe article. I basically bowed out and was going to go ahead about my life. The next issue, that wasn't even the next issue, because them cowards waited about 4 issues before they got their story together. 4 issues later, half of New Yorkers commenting on me getting shot. And before, they was all like, we didn't see nothing. In the first issue, read it, Vibe viewers. Nobody seen shit. The 4th issue, when they came back with a reply, everybody knew what I did. They knew what I said. I was acting. Who gets shot 5 times in acts? Oh, I didn't get shot 5 times in their vision. I only got shot once because they found the bullet. The police found it, but now they the cops. Now they doing detective work. They found the bullet. Oh, you found the bullet, huh? So what is this other shit in me then? What was the doctors talking about? What? Can you explain these other holes in me? How'd I get gunpowder all over me? That insulted my intelligence. So
Tupac Shakur was shot in a drive-by attack in Las Vegas on September 7, 1996. He fought for 6 days before passing away at just 25 years old. Only 6 months later, the Notorious B.I.G. was killed in a similar shooting in Los Angeles on March 9, 1997. 2 rap icons were lost back-to-back at a time when the industry was deeply divided by the East Coast-West Coast rivalry, a conflict fueled by pride, loyalty, and years of tension. Sean Combs, known as Diddy, was Biggie's close friend, producer, and the head of Bad Boy Records, firmly representing the East Coast side. Over the years, his name continued to surface in discussions surrounding both murders. The Netflix documentary Sean Combs, The Reckoning, which premiered on December 2nd, revisited those long-standing questions. Several individuals featured in the series suggested he may have had some level of involvement. Bad Boy co-founder Kirk Burrows stated in the documentary that the tension between Diddy and Tupac didn't appear out of nowhere. Early in their careers, they moved in similar music circles. That dynamic shifted on November 30th, 1994, when Tupac visited Quad Studios in New York City to record a guest verse for Diddy's artist, Little Sean. Instead, he was robbed and shot 5 times in the lobby. Though he survived, the incident severely damaged his trust in both Diddy and Biggie. In a 1996 interview with Vibe magazine, Tupac was directly asked whether he believed Diddy had been involved.
Teach Pac a lesson. Because Pac had owed him some money. So that's why he was up in the studio and was coming to the studio. Pac owed him some money. He was going to work it off and get some money from doing a song with Lil Sean. And that's what that was about. But Pac was talking greasy to Jimmy Henchman, and Jimmy Henchman wasn't the type of dude that you talk greasy to, allegedly. Unless you're 50 Cent.
So Diddy knew what was going to happen to Pac?
He knew Pac was about to deal well, yeah. He was there to see it. He was there to see it. He wasn't only there to see Big them when Jimmy Henchman told him that. He was there to see what's going to happen to Pac. He was there for that. Because had he not been there for that, he would have went up there in the office. He would have went to the studio or the studio session with Big them. He would have went to that studio session with Big them. He knew what room Big them was in. He didn't do that. He was there to see what was going to happen to Pac after Jimmy told him. And that's factual.
Gene says this lines up with what Kirk Burroughs has also claimed, that Diddy played a role behind the scenes. And if money was involved, Gene believes Kirk would know where it came from.
Yeah, Kirk Burroughs, he also said that, he feels like, Diddy was behind Pac murder.
Yeah. If Diddy played a part in that stuff, like he said, Kirk know where the money came from. I'm going to say this. They tried to, if you talk about the Vegas trip and the whole 9 yards, Kirk said that he paid for people to drive out to Vegas. You know what I'm saying? He said he paid for people to drive out of Vegas. I was heavily with Bad Boy at that time. I don't remember that part of it. You understand? I don't remember that part of it. But if Kirk knew and he was paying for people to drive out to Vegas in the whole 9 yards, it's hard to hide $1 million, brother. You ain't going to cash that in the check cashing place. You signing that over to somebody. I said 1,000 times, and I'll say it 1,000 times again. Eric Von Zip showed me and my man Boom Dang, AKA my man Slick, a check for $1 million. We don't know, and everybody trying to say, lying, talking about half of it got paid, 500. I don't know. I know when I asked him about, we asked him, do we ask? No, we didn't ask him. I know.
The Quad Studios shooting was never officially solved, but Gene Deal has publicly claimed that Diddy allegedly knew Tupac was going to be targeted and did nothing to stop it. He also argued that a documentary connected to 50 Cent referenced the incident but left out what he considers a key detail. According to Gene, on the day of the shooting, Andre Harrell and Jimmy Henchman were with Diddy in Jimmy's office. He claims that Biggie and Suge Knight were unaware of this meeting. Gene further alleges that Diddy's presence wasn't accidental, suggesting he was monitoring Biggie's work because he controlled Biggie's publishing at the time and wanted oversight of new material being written. Gene also claims that while they were there, Jimmy Henchman allegedly told Diddy that Tupac was going to be taught a lesson over money Tupac supposedly owed. These statements reflect Gene Deal's allegations and have not been proven in court.
Was an informant in 1997 who told investigators that Puffy had hired the Southside Crips to kill both Suge and Tupac, and that the Crip who was jumped at the MGM was in the group that had done the hit, and that they originally were going to do it at Suge's Vegas nightclub, but then decided to do it right away instead of waiting. This was exactly the same story that Keefe D told us a decade later. Very few people know that immediately after Tupac is shot and that white Cadillac is fleeing, one of the death row entourage, a guy named Alton McDonald, known as Buntry, chases after the Cadillac, and a second shooting takes place between the two vehicles. Alton McDonald's car is struck. In fact, within the Las Vegas files, there's a document that indicates that Alton McDonald's car...
Gene says these claims align with what Kirk Burrow has also suggested, that Diddy may have played a role behind the scenes. According to Gene, if money was involved, Kirk would likely have insight into where it came from. Kirk Burrow has publicly stated that he believes Tupac Shakur's murder may have involved Sean Combs in some capacity. These statements reflect personal beliefs and allegations that have not been proven in court.
That he didn't want to go to LA, he actually wanted to go to London. But Biggie, he was the one that wanted to go to LA, and he was the one that was pushing to go to LA.
That's not true. My name is Kirk Burrows. I ran Bad Boy Entertainment. I helped co-found it. I created the company with him. I raised from general manager to president. And at that time, I put all of those business plans together. And Biggie didn't want to go to LA, ended up going. What got him out there was a week ahead of time to ease him into the whole award show. He may not have wanted to go to London, but was talked into it. First time ever, a rapper of your stature getting this treatment, that would be something he would be interested in doing, but he was easily talked out of it by Sean so that they can make an appearance at an event in LA that Saturday night. A part of the posturing of not only did we come to the award show, not only am I recording my album out here, and Big is gonna help me with some of the writing and maybe do something out here where me and him did this song in LA. I'm out on the town.
Out to no party, no clubs, and no hip hop scene. They wasn't doing none of that, brother. But that one particular night they go out, and it was because of Puff and D-Rock. Clark Kent said that shit himself. I've been saying it for years, but everybody was saying, I'm capping. No. What do you call Clark Kent? Is he capping? He's a vice president of a record company. You understand what I'm saying? He was DJing for Big. Is he capping? All these people should smack themselves, brother. Because what happens is, when people hear the truth, they can't believe it. Why? They can't understand it. But it happened. We couldn't have done nothing because it was no we. It was no we out there. Big had a security, Paul Alford, Reggie Bullock. Puff had me and Kenny. We was down 6 to 8 other men. And it's 23 people in the entourage. And none of them got no guns. You don't go Cali empty-handed. We couldn't have done nothing, man.
What still hurts Gene the most is that he asked for more security before they went out. He says he pushed the issue and was told no. Puffy said there wasn't enough money.
People still want to know shit about him. They should have had better security. I asked them before we gonna go out? Let's hire some more security. They refused to hire more security. They refused to hire more security. Kirk Burrows said the same thing. They ain't have it in the budget. Not without Big, they don't have no budget.
Those allegedly involved may no longer be alive, but the financial records remain. Gene Deal believes that if the full truth ever comes out, it will be found in paper trails, bank records, checks, and transactions that can still be traced. Nearly 2 years after the Quad Studios incident, Tupac Shakur was fatally shot in Las Vegas. For decades, the case remained unsolved, fueling countless rumors across the hip-hop world. Then, in September 2023, authorities arrested Dwayne Davis, also known as Keef D, and charged him with murder. Prosecutors stated he played a central role in the killing. In July 2024, a court filing revealed details from a previously undisclosed 2009 police interview. In that interview, Davis allegedly described his involvement and repeatedly mentioned Sean Combs, claiming Combs ordered the shooting. According to Davis's statements, Diddy was angry over Tupac's repeated public insults. Additionally, reports referencing a 2008 interview cited by the Drug Enforcement Administration and the United States Department of Justice indicated that Davis claimed Diddy had expressed a desire to eliminate both Suge Knight and Tupac, allegedly offering $1 million to carry it out. These claims are part of legal filings and interviews and have not been proven in court.
Has changed slightly, gradually over time. Today, I look at Diddy through a different lens than I might have 10, 15 years ago. There were obviously some early red flags, but it's a complicated thing because we have to be very careful about falsely accusing people or even making accusations based on nothing more than speculation. And we just haven't seen all the evidence. So I prefer to kind of withhold judgment on some things. I can tell you regarding Diddy back when Tupac Shakur and Biggie Smalls were murdered. He wasn't exactly cooperative. He didn't do what you would assume a friend or a manager, so to speak, would do. So from a law enforcement perspective, he was very unhelpful in an area where he ought to have been contributing towards getting some type of justice in those two murder cases. But as we found out in time, he was complicit in one of them, and which would make sense why maybe he didn't cooperate in the other, because the two were, they were just, we always understood that they were somehow interconnected. And so if you're going to cooperate or provide information on one and you're culpable in the other, one thing could lead back to the next. And that's where I think
Sean Combs has denied all allegations. In July 2024, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department stated that Combs has never been considered a suspect in the homicide investigation of Tupac Shakur. He has never been charged in connection with the case. Meanwhile, Dwayne Davis has pleaded not guilty and remains in custody, with his trial delayed. After Tupac's death, tensions between the coasts reportedly remained high. According to individuals close to the situation, Diddy and his East Coast associates were warned against traveling to the West Coast. Despite that, Diddy continued promoting the Notorious B.I.G.'s upcoming album. In the docuseries Sean Combs, The Reckoning, Kirk Burrow claimed that Biggie was hesitant about the trip, but Sean encouraged him to move forward with the promotional appearances.
Pac showed up, he saw them looking down from the window, his new friends were there, an incident happened in the elevator. It might have been a scary thing, like just to send a message. Tupac standing his own ground, just didn't leave it at that. He ended up getting hit, getting shot, the elevator went up. Our people were shocked to see him in that state. He was shocked to see our people looking at him shot. He thought that they knew something about it. He thought if he was in New York and he was with all the rappers from the East, they must have known what was going to happen. It had to be in the wind, and situations aren't laid out like that. And it was the furthest thing from the truth, but he held that to his heart. And then he went away. A few other things happened, got better, got repaired, went away, went to jail on the rape charge. Once that came down on him, it looked as if the East Coast must have been the worst thing and the worst place for him to have come to. And it looks as if the friends that he had just turned their backs on him. Suge stepped in. And when Suge stepped in, he signed him. He signed him to a napkin at Clinton. And that letter that he sent through Wendy Day, She was definitely a person that was connected and a mediator between most everyone in the hip hop game and had been for a minute. Legendary person. She delivered the letter to my office. It started with West Side Up.
Gene Deal has said this account aligns with what others close to the situation have shared. He revealed that Clark Kent, who was close to the Notorious B.I.G. and active in the industry, later questioned why Biggie was out that night at all. According to Gene, Biggie was supposed to be preparing to travel, not attending events. Clark Kent reportedly said he asked why they were heading to the Peterson Automotive Museum, and Biggie told him the appearance had been arranged by Sean Combs and another individual. Gene added that he was unaware of that detail at the time and only learned about it years later when Clark Kent spoke about it publicly. These accounts reflect personal recollections and have not been proven in court.
Label, setting that up. She's very influential and instrumental in a lot of success. When I started in the music business, I reached out to her. She had a company called Rap Coalition. She went back and helped rappers from a previous generation get their money straight, their royalties. With that being said, I was like, she's someone I want to know. In knowing her, I had the good fortune of when she was dealing with Tupac during his crises on the East Coast, she went to visit him at Clinton. He wrote a letter, drafted it, so that she can bring it to me at the office so that I could know and be able to relate to Sean where we were with him. And the letter, if I remember, it said, West Side Up. And what we had heard was rumblings that Suge came and signed him on a napkin to a contract, and he was going to go west, and all the stuff that happened to him on the East, it made it look like people on the East, King or the biggest rappers on the East, or people that he knew, should have warned him or protected him against what had happened. And it just is not geographically laid out like that. And a lot of people caught some blame for things that they had nothing to do with. And he took offense, went west, and that started him as a mouthpiece against the East, all right, going at Biggie. And I think it's more than, that's one level of the beef. Then I think there's another level of things that were going on in the streets where things happened in the dividing line between East and West that caused a big rift that led to...
Yes, he hated every bit of it. I remember one time, you know, he was like, who did you grow up listening to? I'm like, Tupac. I ain't mentioned Biggie. That nigga ain't even talk to me for like 4 days after that. Everything with Pac, like, you couldn't say Pac was anything better than Biggie. You can't put them in the same realm or nothing. It was all about Biggie. Nigga, I ain't know no fucking, it was all a dream whole song. I knew a couple words, the first verse maybe, but he made us recite the whole fucking thing. I guess, I don't know. He made us recite that whole fucking thing. And I don't think that Biggie would have gave a if a nigga would have killed about reciting his whole shit. You dig? Like, cause I grew up listening to Biggie too, you know? And I just felt Pac differently.
That's why Chopper says Diddy's hatred for Tupac felt so intense. Not competitive, not petty, personal. He says Diddy hated Tupac no matter how that sound, and only later did he realize how deep that hate really was.
Keefe D situation, I think the real reason why they ain't gonna let Puffy out is because they trying to connect that Keefe D situation with Puffy. That's what I really think it is. Because if it came down to some freaking foolishness and all that there of buku chumped up charges they couldn't prove, I don't think they got no evidence. I think they trying to keep him in there to lock in that Keefe D. You heard me? That Keefe D situation with Puff. I think that's the only reason why he's still in jail right now. They know Puff is not a dangerous person on the outside. They know if they let him out right now, he's gonna be on house arrest. He's gonna be a good boy. He f around and do all church little videos and whatever. They know that already. That's not what they aiming for. They don't care about none of that. What they care about is they trying to connect Keefe D with Biggie. I mean, with Tupac and Diddy. I'm telling you, that's what I feel. And I never thought I would have said that, but I'm an intelligent man, bro. And ain't no other way they gonna keep you in there of, oh, yeah, oh, Diddy did this to me. Oh, Diddy did that to me. I'm suing him. I'm suing him. I'm suing him. I'm suing him. Oh, we got enough evidence to. No, you don't. That's accusations. That's not factual, brother. You dig? So I feel like the factual thing that they really trying to aim for is the kid for D. That's the only thing that they can really lock him in with. All the rest of that shit gonna get trumped down when it come down to it. Diddy gonna plea, and that shit gonna be over with. What they going? That rabbit in the hole is gonna be that kid for D situation. I'm telling, mark my words. Watch. That's why they ain't gonna let him out. They would have let Kid for D out on that bail. Vegas.
Witnesses said the shooter in the Notorious B.I.G.'s case was described as a black man wearing a blue suit with a bow tie. No one has ever been arrested or charged in his killing. Decades later, both his murder and that of Tupac Shakur remain officially unsolved, and Sean Combs has never been charged in connection with either case. However, ongoing legal developments and renewed public attention have continued to fuel speculation, particularly regarding alleged links to Tupac's death. According to Kirk Burrow, tensions between the camps existed even before Tupac entered Quad Studios in 1994. He has suggested that trust was already fragile, egos were strong, and quiet rivalries were present within the industry. After Tupac was robbed and shot inside the studio, Burrow says the fallout was immediate and intense, permanently altering the relationship between the East Coast and West Coast circles. These accounts reflect personal perspectives and have not been proven in court.
Shit like this. That's taken from people's families. There's women. There's women. I ain't got a problem with it. Let's go to war. Bruh, first of all, they're gonna try to get his baby mama stories, you know. They're gonna try to get 50 baby mama stories. They're gonna try to get girls that he probably dated, that he had problems and issues with and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna try to do the same thing they probably did to R. Kelly or Puff or whatever like that, and people tell their stories. You understand? But, you know, they trying to retaliate on what he did. Let him go ahead, bruh. Because I think he ready for it. You don't do this shit, and you don't do the stuff that he did or sign on to the stuff that he did with Puff. Unless you got your shit in order. Don't throw no stone if you live in a glass house. Don't throw no stone if you live in a glass house. I believe 50 ready for it. If they come at him any kind of way. I heard that Diddy is trying to sue Netflix for $1 billion. Ain't nothing came up in court. That's just talk, bro. No paperwork has been put in and signed into that. They're gonna have to have a reason. If they were suing him and he had enough reason, why they didn't cease and desist the thing? Huh? If he had a leg to stand on, why they didn't cease and desist the documentary?